Good day, Toronto. Welcome to Market Watch of December 2017. As you know, the holidays are coming around, so check out my cute little Christmas tree. I'm totally ready for the holidays. So this is the last month where me getting stats until 2018. And as you know, the first 11 months tend to do majority of the activity that happens because we more or less just lose 2 months in December. So you can kind of look at this as wrapping up. We're at the home stretch of the year. I will be releasing end of the year stats kind of closer towards the end of the year, maybe in a week or two. So make sure you stay tuned for that, okay? So let's look at the stats and sales activity right now. I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but we can't compare last year's stats with this year's stats. You have to keep remembering, last year was super hot, whereas this year, there's been a couple of government interventions. So it's like comparing apples to oranges. It's totally not the same thing. Although, the one thing that I'll note is even though the market has been up and down, and especially in different neighborhoods, this time around last year, what I did notice is that prices was more or less the same. It's been up 2 to 3% on average throughout the entire GTA. So that could be kind of like a sigh of relief saying, you know what, maybe the market is kind of stabilizing. I've been kind of seeing this, that the prices are roughly the same since July of this year. So it's been a good 5-6 months since it's kind of stabilized, okay? As usual, this year we'll be looking at the month-to-month stats of the overall market. Despite November, which is supposed to be a slower month than October, we're seeing more sales activity and less listings. However, strangely enough, we're seeing the prices come down on average a little bit, but I suspect that's just because the detached prices aren't moving and the price is just down like 3 or 4%, which on a smaller sample size is really not that bad. However, the more significant and larger sample size is that condo prices are up. And because detaches are 2-3 times the price of condos, that's why we're probably seeing that skew in the numbers. So as expected, we'll be seeing a fairly active market from the pressure of the upcoming stress test that's happening in January 2018. And I also suspect that the buyer psychology is coming back after the waning effects of the 15% foreign buyers tax that we saw in April. So let's get into each and every single sector. Detaches, literally from last month, exactly the same. Almost nothing has changed. Now let's talk about semis and towns. We're seeing a slight increase in price from 8 to 10%, and this is most likely because there's a scramble to buy some kind of freehold before the stress test happens, which means that everyone's gonna be stuck as a condo dweller for life. So now the sales activity has actually gone down, but you gotta keep in mind, the sample size is so small that I wouldn't really look at it, but overall the prices have gone up in the 500 sales that had happened. Now condo activity, we're seeing that the sales are up 7%, prices are up 10%, and listings are up 8%, so up. And as expected, this is the most affordable segment of the market, and it's just bursting because of the stress test scare that everyone's kind of feeling. So despite all the statistical data saying that we're supposed to be coming to a year end and we're supposed to be slowing down, we're actually seeing a lot of activity in the condo market because it's the most affordable right now. It's blazing lava hot. Final thoughts. So all segment of the market right now, sales to new listing ratio is still over 60%. We're still in a seller's market despite what everyone is saying. Now, the inventory that we're seeing is roughly on average 2 months in each neighborhood. To be healthy, we're looking at 9. So we're still far from being in a buyer's market. I'm guessing that this last month of December will be slower than November and probably slower than October because we're losing 2 weeks of transaction from the holidays. However, I do see the first 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, that it's going to be kind of crazy in the condo sector as everyone's scrambling to buy and close something before the stress test hits them. So if you're in the market right now looking at buy a condo for investment or for your first time, I would definitely speed it up and move quickly before the stress test happens in advance of everyone. Until next time, this is Zhen from Prime Properties TO. Happy real estating.